The second episode of Kingdom of Rooms start off where we left off. The man that was wrapped up like a mummy, showing his one red eye, he breaks out of the chains. As they say, prisoner 1001 is free. As one officer says, they should inform the chief. Others says they should handle this themselves. I assume this is Adonis. Adonis goes for an attack, jumping towards the first officer. He pins him down and takes his weapon. He stabs him, killing the man. One officer gets ready to shoot Adonis, but Adonis quickly takes the knife off the first officer he killed and throws it directly at his face. The second officer was that. The third officer tried to draw his gun, but hesitated for a moment. He drew his gun. Adonis already went for close quarter combat, and he managed to make the officer shoot himself. Dorica was afraid she was going to get killed. Next, as Adonis points the gun towards her, he shoots, breaking Dorica chains. We see the cool intro. An announcement was heard throughout the internment camp that all personnel was to handle the immediate escape of cell block 1 through 6. We switch over to the director speaking to a subordinate. He told him to head to the internment camp and to arm himself with a weapon that's greater than the class 5. The subordinate doesn't have any questions as he is ready to protect the empire. In the name of peace, the female next to the director told him to hurry and go as the man excused himself. The man walks out the room and removes his coat, showing the strong armor. He is an executive of the empire. We shift back to the prison and see many dead guards. The cross-dresser screams the confiscated items storage has been opened. They inform the cross-dresser that the woman imitate his voice. That is why this disaster is happening. The cross-dresser is freaking out, thinking this is really bad and what he's going to tell the higher-ups. He is surprised because he should have authorization to even open that special chamber, as he explained that the chamber held us as threat level. Prisoner, Adonis the apprentice, which as they showed the empty box, which held Adonis' pen. Then we see Adonis sitting on the ledge of a building. He cast a spell using his pen saying written style summoning magic. He points his gun and shots. The bullet increased in size, changing to a giant bullet. It hit a building as the people scream in terror below. As Adonis says time to kill every last citizen. As we shift to the men in the full body armor suits, surrounded by countless dead female prisoners' bodies, we even see a glimpse of a dead body. He says he hasn't found the boy yet. They inform him that a building was hit by a giant bullet. He says he's go check it out after he clean up the cause of the mess. We see the cross-dresser with 2 officers on their knees. The man gladly kills them with a smile on his face. We see Dorica running, not knowing what to do. And she dropped to her knees and see the giant bullet stuck in the building. She says this is her fault. Adonis is standing among the crowd watching the TV. He walks away. An emergency broadcast played, informing the citizens of what's going on. He walks and he thinks to himself that she isn't going to be proud of him for what he is about to do. He imagined what she would say to him right now, that she wouldn't want revenge. But since he escaped, tried to live his best life, he smiles, while a stranger thinks he's creepy for talking to himself. He looked into the sky and said no matter how many years passed, he can't forget what they did to her. As he remembers her final moments, he said, I love you too, Chloe, and begin to cast a spell. The ground below the people's feet started to shake as a giant figure rose from the ground. Storage buildings in this way as Adonis stands in his palm. People are calling the police department, informing them of what's happening. But the police don't believe it. A man drives a car inside the police station. As they check the driver, they seen he had a scared look on his face. They assumed he was on drugs, so they arrested the man. As one officer steps outside to make a phone call, he sees a giant destroying buildings. As we see horror and chaos in the streets, we see the giant and Adonis making his way towards the empire, towards the king, as Adonis says, don't run away. We see a group of soldiers making plans to confront the giant and Adonis. They inform the king of the situation, but the queen informed them that the king isn't well. They leave ready for the confrontation. They look out into the distance and see the giant moving their direction. The lady officer calls the officer in charge, brother, and tells him that the boy and the quail is missing, so that giant can possibly be powered by magic. The man says that should make things simple, as he requests the magic photon suppression device. One officer tells him it's in the underground storage, and it hasn't been used for 10 years. He told Yuki, the female officer, it's in her hands. As the giant made its way through the city, destroying it, They declared a state of emergency. Tanks lined up to defend their city. They aimed and they fired. As they shoot, they miss attacking their own city. They wonder what's going on as they say the shells are not flying straight. The giant punch a building, sending debris towards the tank, destroying them right away. We learned in the 10 years he was confined in that chamber, he was able to master the written style. The writing style is the only way a gnome which can use magic. If it wasn't for his great teacher, he would have never been able to achieve this. Adonis feels like everyone is guilty for what happened 10 years ago. Everyone reaped the benefit of what happened. So he summons two heavy-duty machine guns and fires into the crowd of people. With a smile on his face, he killed more people. With a smile and tears falling down his face, he says this is a beautiful sight. But for some reason, he doesn't feel better. Eekhout said he had his sights on the caster. He is the man in the armor. He informs the director that Adonis is in the palm of the giant hand. As the director calls out for an attack, jets fly through the air launching missiles. They hit the giant back, knocking and out the palm of the giant hand. We see an explosion from the distance. As the citizen screams to evacuate, a large piece of debris is about to land on a boy. But Dorica dashes and saves the boy just in time. She tells the boy sorry this is happening and leave the boy with a random woman. She runs towards the giant, telling the women the area is dangerous. The women ask what about you, as she said she has to stop him. We didn't see a Danish laid out on the ground. He says he must be out of shape. We see the king of the empire wakes up with his wife by his side. The king coughs up blood as his wife yells for a doctor. As he speaks, Anwa is fighting soldiers. He doesn't have any regrets because he feels like he did all he can to progress humanity. As far as he could, he wiped out the witches and the other countries surrounding them. Adonis is destroying helicopters with his magic. He also killed a group of soldiers as one fought for his life. As he about to kill the last soldier, Dorica's scream stops. She doesn't want to see any more innocent people die. Adonis kills the soldier in his hands. He laughs and walks towards the girl. He says all humans are subject to extermination, as she says. Chloe wouldn't want this. He stopped and is surprised that she said the name Chloe. He grabbed the girl by her collar and told her don't use that name casually. Thought this was a dirty trick to buy time. This is something that humans would do, as he said. Chloe would have never lost back then. She called him by his name, Adonis. She said everyone knows that Adonis is the student of the greatest. Whichever, she shows him that she was a witch, and grabs her by her neck. He says all witches are dead. He asked why they didn't help Chloe, and she said they was all desperate to escape. She said she was sorry, but there's a way to bring Chloe back. She says she infiltrated the country to save him. They need his memories to be able to bring him back. Chloe the witch. He used his magic to summon a sword. He said he will kill everyone, and she said she was happy to meet him. He have a flashback of Chloe and he dropped to his knees as he cried. He asks is it true that she could bring back clothing? She answered yes, as she reached out her hand and told them he's not alone anymore. Blood splatter out of nowhere. We see she was shot in the back. Then we see Eekhout with a sniper with a sad look on his face. He said number 2 for 1 special. That is how episode 2 end. I am really enjoying this series. I hope you are too. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Stay blessed and have a great day.